Now that your cousin is gone, the aches and pains of your journey sink into your bones. You stumble back up the stairs to your room, suitcase in tow, eager to unwind before you face the rest of the day. You stand at the entrance to your room. I could take a nap. We'll start by putting my clothes in the dresser. You drag your suitcase over to the dresser and open the bottom drawer. An opossum lurks within it. It is quiet, but angry. Okay, I could offer it the peanuts, pardon me. Close the drawer, grab the opossum, gently smack the opossum, and put clothes on top of the opossum. I will offer it the boiled peanuts. You hold out your still dripping bag of boiled peanuts. The opossum hisses in disgust, stiffens, and begins to drool, feigning death. You close the drawer. Yeah, might as well leave it be. You open the top drawer next. It's empty, as good a place as you'll find to put your clothes. Based on the state of the house, you wonder if you'd have been better off keeping your clothes in your nice, clean bag, but there's no going back now. I can take a nap, check the closet, look at the window, examine the painting. Let's take a look at the painting. This must be an older relative of yours. Judging by the dates on the inscription, you've never heard of her, but you'd barely heard anything about your aunt and cousins until a week ago, so that's not really a surprise. Maybe you could ask Tabitha about this Mary Belle Scarlet the next time you see her. That is, if she's actually in the mood for conversation. We can take a look at the closet. Oh, they've got a creepy doll in there. Nice. You can see why your cousin said you shouldn't put your clothes in the dresser, or you should put your clothes in the dresser instead of this closet. There must be decades of family history stacked up in here. And you gotta pick up the doll, right? Hello. Oh, what's that? Property of... I think that's property of Alexandria, if I'm not mistaken. Of course you're sharing a room with a creepy doll. You pick it up to examine it more closely. Its foot reads, property of Alexandra. No need to carry this around with you. You close the closet behind you. Don't really want to take a nap right now. I'll look at the window. You can only imagine how beautiful the garden must have been in its heyday. If you owned this place, you'd totally get out there with a shovel and some gardening gloves and whip it into shape. You'd go out and pull weeds, chop trees, carve topiaries, and do whatever you needed to do to return it to its former glory. And once it was all done, you'd sit by the fountain, which, of course, would have a little goldfish in it, and drink a floral tea while enjoying the bird song. Yeah, you'd definitely do that. Just, not right now. Okay, I'm not gonna take a nap right now. That's enough. It doesn't seem like there's much else for you to do here right now. Should probably eat something. You haven't had anything to eat all day. The only things louder than your stomach right now are the creaks and moans of this ancient place. A PB&J sounds exactly like what you need to take on the rest of the day. You head to the kitchen. You're back in the kitchen, ready to craft a beautiful peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It's a daunting task, given the state of the place, but the aggressive growls of your stomach outweigh your fear of food poisoning. To get started, you'll probably need to find some peanut butter, some jelly, bread, a plate, and a knife. Okay, well, let's start with the pantry, I guess. It's probably the most likely place for there to be peanut butter. Oh my goodness, there is so much peanut butter. She was not joking when she said she buys food in bulk. Can you even live on this diet without getting scurvy? Also, is that a dead mouse? Or is that a living mouse? I think it's a dead mouse on the bread shelf. Tabitha sure loves her mac and cheese. Oh, jeez. Let's look closer. I've got a keen eye, might as well make use of it. You squint into the darkness of the pantry. Behind the molded bread, a single book lies forgotten, a thin layer of dust collected on its cover. You pick it up. You flip to a bookmarked page. Both calf's brain and aspic are unappetizing enough on their own, and you can only imagine how vile the combination of the two would be. What kind of person would call this their favorite food? No wonder your mom ran far, far away from this place. Teddy's favorite. Huh. You shut the book and put it back in its place. I'll take a look at the mac and cheese. You pick up a box of Tabitha's mac and cheese. You can't say you've ever seen the brand before. Empty the box and stuff it with a dead mouse on that's so cruel. No. I'll put it back. Staying away from the mac and cheese was one of your cousin's hard rules, and she already seems to not like you. You put the box back where you found it, reluctant to make things worse than they already are. I'll take some peanut butter. The king of nut butters, and only 3% of each jar is mashed up cockroaches. Ew. All you need now is a plate, a knife, jelly, and some bread. I'll take the bread. You pick up one of the non-moldy loaves of bread. Great, one step closer to a satisfying snack. Yeah, bread is really not one of the things you should buy in bulk like this, especially not for one person. Unless you're, like, freezing it or something. Because it just goes bad. Like the peanut butter, the mac and cheese I can understand, but the bread? Seems foolhardy to me. All you need now is jelly, a plate, and a knife. We'll close that pantry. You close the pantry door as best you can and turn back to the rest of the kitchen. Alright, that was in events. I want to check out the garden while I'm here. Ooh. It's nice in its own sort of overgrown wilderness sort of way. Kind of almost like a dark fairy tale sort of thing. This garden was reclaimed by the wilderness long ago. It might not be very safe, but who's to stop you from venturing deeper? I'll explore the garden. You wander further into the garden. It's quiet out here. Okay. Not much of note. You head back inside and close the door behind you. Okay, let's search the fridge. As you approach the fridge, your eyes catch a note taped to the door reading, "Janie, stay out," in all caps. Below it, in separate handwriting, are the words, "Okie dokie." You open the fridge. You already feel a deep urge to wash your hands, even though you have yet to touch anything other than the handle. They've got takeout. Oh, that is really old takeout. Why did you do that? What were you expecting? This takeout container is disgusting beyond words. A liquefied mess, wholly congealed in its styrofoam shell. You can't even tell what it used to be. This substance doesn't just smell bad, it smells ancient. Why would I eat it? Oh, well, no, for God's sake, put it back. I was hoping there was like a throw it out button, but apparently not. Your body reacts before you even register what you're doing, compelled by a deep primal disgust. You shove the container back in the fridge, pushing it into the depths of the shelves and out of your mind. Hopefully you can forget it exists and move on with your life. Do I even want to check the mayonnaise? I could grab the ice cream, but that was a no-go zone, apparently. I'll check the mayonnaise. Maybe I'll just put some mayonnaise on my PB&J. You know you probably shouldn't, but a part of you has to know how old that mayonnaise is. You pick up the jar, its label flaking in your hand. It expired 10 years ago. This jar of mayonnaise is old enough to graduate the 5th grade. Best to put it back and forget you ever saw it. I will take the jelly. You reach for one of the unopened jars of grape jelly, carefully checking its expiration date. You breathe a sigh of relief when you realize it's recent. Wait, as in it expired recently, like it expired like a month ago, as opposed to 10 years ago? This was either purchased specifically for you, or jelly is one of the few things in this kitchen Tabitha actually uses. The only things you need now are a plate and a knife. Better close this fridge and keep looking. Alright. Yeah, I don't need the ice cream. You return to the kitchen, closing the fridge behind you. Let me approach Frofro. The cat hisses as you draw near, but remains firmly in place. This is clearly Frofro's spot on the counter. I probably shouldn't pet the cat, so we'll back away. You back away from Frofro, trying not to make any sudden movements. Alright, the cabinets it is. This cabinet must be where Tabitha keeps the dishware, and oddly enough, the utensils as well. Okay, why would I need I guess I would need a bowl if I was eating ice cream. Let's take a look at the shot glass. I survived Deb's 50th. It reads, I survived Deb's 50th. Your aunt's name was Perlane, so this wasn't from her 50th. From the few stories you'd heard from your mom, Perlane wasn't the type to have kitschy friends who gave out themed shot glasses at their birthday parties. Maybe it belongs to Janie. You imagine she might need an alcoholic beverage to get through cleaning this place, especially with Tabitha's sour face peering over her shoulder. Let's examine the mug. It reads, I was blown away at Blowing Rock, NC. So your aunt and cousin actually traveled sometimes, even if it was only a few hours from the estate. I wonder if that's a real place. Maybe you can reroute your return trip through Blowing Rock. It might be nice to see the local sites before heading home. Okay, I will grab a plate and a butter knife. You grab a plate and a butter knife. This is the last ingredient you need to make your PB&J. Time to get to work. You close the cabinet and look back to the rest of the kitchen. Okay, I'll make the PB&J. Despite the state of the horrendous kitchen, you have successfully combined your 3 ingredients to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Congratulations, you can feed yourself. A job well done. All that hassle, and it took you less than a minute to eat. The rest of the day lies in front of you. Okay, let's get out of here. Congratulations, you've eaten and have a full day ahead of you. What do you want to do next? You could investigate some of the forbidden wings of the estate. And it can't be that dangerous. It's a house, right? It hasn't been condemned. Officially. Yeah. With Tabitha gone, there's no one stopping you from going into the forbidden wings of the estate. Except for the locks and chains sealing them shut. Street sword, an insurmountable obstacle for most, but a mild inconvenience for you. As the locks fall, the doors moan open, revealing the entrance to what must have been an incredibly lavish ballroom. Faintly in the distance, you can hear the quiet notes of an old piano playing from another room. The forbidden wings are yours to explore. Okay, well, a little quick look around can't hurt. You can see why your cousin warned you against coming here. Deep gashes tear across the floor, and years of detritus have turned what once must have been a magnificent and open ballroom into a tight and claustrophobic maze. The piano you heard through the doorway has grown louder, and you feel pretty confident that it's coming from the other side of the obstructed glass door ahead of you. I guess they must have a player piano? Odd for it to still be running, especially if no one ever comes here. It's probably just a self-playing model, but maybe you aren't as alone here as you thought. I'll examine the paintings covering the far wall. Oops, wrong button. Family tree. Interesting. You make your way over to the painting covering the far wall. It's a family tree. Angry black scratches cover the space where your mother should be. Where's that? Oh, I see. Okay. They must have really hated her. We'll try to clear the furniture blocking the doorway. You head back towards the debris-blocked doorway. Though you try with all your might, it's just too heavy for you to do anything more than budget. Okay, I guess that's enough then. You return to the entrance of the sealed wing and carefully reattach the locks. After what you've seen and heard in the ballroom, you weigh how much longer you should even stay in the estate on your own. Might as well head to town. With your cousin gone, there's nothing for you to really do here. Should have packed a book or something. You leave the estate and head out to explore the town. If you'd have known you'd wind up having to walk all the way back to town, you probably would have just asked Tabitha to leave you at the bus stop, especially with how unhappy she seemed to see you. If only you could wipe that slate between the two of you clean and bury some of the tension. Though, maybe her mother's funeral isn't the best time for something like that. Then again, maybe it's the perfect time. We'll continue down the path. It's really pretty out here. Oops. It's a nice view. Continue down that path. Finally, you made it back to town. The holler, as that guy in the bus called it, has probably seen better days. It still has the feeling of an idyllic country town, but its sidewalks are cracked and many of the storefronts are boarded up, their windows dusty with age. A chill breeze sweeps down the lane, and you shudder, suddenly feeling as if you're peering into a grave. Oh, a dog. Gretchen, come back! Quit bothering! Sorry about that. Gretchen can be very slippery when she wants to be. She loves to get loose and cause a havoc. Okay, I can pet the dog. A pug, so cute. Tell me words. Will be kind of normal. A pug! She's so cute. I love pugs. She's so cute. Thanks, she is cute. Sure, most of her teeth have fallen out, and she's got a couple of weird growths, but for a 17-year-old pug, that's pretty good. She's 17? Really? That's gotta be really old for a dog, right? Sure is. She's about 84 in dog years. I'm hoping she beats the current record holder and makes it to 19. Already at 20. The more time we get together, the better. Isn't that right, Gretch? But where are my manners? Talking to you for this long without introducing myself. I'm Stella. It's not often I see a strange face up in the holler. Every now and then there's a new crop of coal folks, but you don't look dusty enough for that. You aren't in town for the funeral, are you? The Scarlet funeral. Okay, so I can offer the boiled peanuts. Say I wouldn't be caught dead at a funeral. Introduce myself, say yep, maybe, none of your business. I'll introduce myself properly. I am James. You must be Tabby's cousin, right? That's the only person I can think of who would come to town for the funeral. How's she holding up? To be honest, I've been a little worried about her, all up alone in that big house. I'm sorry, did you say Tabby? Why do you want to know that? She's putting on a front, she seems alright. Even though we just met a couple of hours ago, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't worried about her. She always so, I don't know how she's doing and I don't care. Why do you care? She's awful, and as far as I can tell, she openly hates me. I'm sorry, did you say Tabby? I'm sorry, did I hear you right? I can't imagine Tabitha ever going by something so bubbly. She did back when I knew her better. It's been a while. Hope she is okay. I think she's putting on a front. I don't think she's doing too well. She's been icy, sure, but it feels like she's putting it on as a front. She's always been a little rough around the edges. To be honest, it's always been hard to tell if that's just the way she is or if she's just been putting on an act her whole life. To think she's been up in that old mansion all by herself. It'll probably be good for her now that you're staying there, even if she doesn't think so herself. Are you two friends? Well, that's probably closer than most people have gotten to being able to call her a friend. School here is really small, so everyone had to at least get along with everyone else. She was a grade ahead of me, but everyone knew her, especially since she's a Scarlet. We wound up bonding a bit when we were both in the school's production of A Midsummer Night's Dream. I was Puck and she was Mustard Seed. As you might have expected, she was more than a little prickly, but I managed to soften her up a bit in the end. But then she graduated, and that was that. Oh, if you just got to town, you must be starving. Just on my way to the diner for a coffee. They've got amazing biscuits, my treat. Sure. This is where everyone is. The pleasant aroma of greasy breakfast food hangs heavy in the air. The contrast with the empty, lifeless atmosphere of the family estate, the diner is filled with the comforting din of human life. All of which grinds to a sudden halt as the patrons realize that a stranger has entered the establishment. Hi? Hey everyone, I'm James. What are you looking at? Quite aside to the nearest booth or silently stare at the patrons. Well, try to be friendly. Hey everyone, I'm James. Hey everyone, I'm James. Just in town for the funeral. Before anyone can respond, you and Stella casually slide into a booth, pretending the whole town didn't just gawk at you like a sideshow attraction. Looks like your entrance was a little more dramatic than you were expecting, huh? Folks around here don't meet many strangers as is, and with who you're related to, well, let's just say you'll be the talk of the town for a while. As you settle into the booth, you can't help but pick up on the murmurs of conversation around you. Let's listen in. Stella turns to Gretchen while you take a quick look around the diner. At the counter, two policemen and a woman you assume to be the owner shoot sidelong glances in your direction while whispering to each other. Vivian's kid. Never thought we'd actually meet him. Looks so much like her. Oh yes, those eyes are unmistakable. That haunted look. I've always thought it'd go away once she finally got out of this town, but I guess unhappiness was baked into her DNA. Mm-hmm. A young mother and her syrup-stained child sit at the table across from you. Mommy, who's that? Don't stare, Tulip. That's Miss Tabitha's cousin. Oh, that's why you look so sad. I would look sad too if I had to have Miss Tabitha as a cousin. Do you think Tabitha's cousin is mean too? I don't know. I'll find out next time I go visit Miss Tabitha. You're gonna finish your pancakes. They're almost cold, Sweet Pea, and we've got to get home to help Daddy. In the far back corner, a man sits alone at a small table, sipping coffee and reading a paper. Why are the strangers who wander into town never gorgeous blonde ladies of an appropriate age? Why is it always coal boys, punks, and whippersnappers? Last, a group of coal miners sit hunched around the corner, booth readily scarfing down heaping plates of food. So that's the boss's cousin. There's that funeral this week, if I'm remembering right, for old Miss Pearline. May she rot in peace. Oh, let the lady rest, Lloyd. One shouldn't speak ill of the dead, no matter how foul they were, especially before they've been so much as lain to rest. If you'd been around in her heyday, you'd be speaking ill too, Tommy. He's right. Nastiest woman I've ever met, that Tabitha's a blessing compared to her. Curse the whole lot of them. May every Scarlet burn in hell. That's enough of that. Hey, Stella, went ahead and fixed you up a coffee. They gracefully place a cup of specially brewed coffee in front of Stella. Aw, shucks. Thanks, Avery. And here's some bacon for the little lady. Gretchen sniffs the bacon and digs in. Tip, you can hit the H button on your keyboard to hide text at the bottom anytime. Or this. Ooh. Anything for you. Offer the yes. Isn't bacon bad for dogs? No thanks, Still says she's swag, so I want of everything, please and thank you. How much is the coffee? I'll order a biscuit and a coffee. Could I have a biscuit and a coffee, please? Alright, they were really good. Best in the country. Avery pours the fragrant brew into the empty mug in front of you. They linger after pouring your coffee, turning to you nervously. Oh, and I'm sorry for your loss. Before you have the chance to respond, they're gone. Glad you took my advice with the biscuit. You won't regret it. Anyway, the funeral's not till Sunday, right? That gives you quite a bit of time to slum around town. I'm trying to think if there are any cool events going on this week. There's always the reading adventure at the library, which is supposed to be for little kids, but I do it every month anyway. Oh, and I'm pretty sure Avery's throwing a party Saturday night. That's a fun thing to look forward to. And there's a weekly Sunday potluck. That should be right after the funeral too, so it'll be a special occasion. Is the potluck like a church thing? Cool. Oh, that's really striking my fancy or remain silent. Looks like cool. Sounds neat. Maybe I'll check some of these things out. Anyway, those are all the big events I can think of. As for the day-to-day, any idea how you want to kill time for the rest of the week? Do you have something in mind? What's your angle here? What's it to you? No clue. I'm sure I'll be able to talk around myself. Probably just do what I can to support Tabitha through this. We'll just honor or answer quite like honestly here. No clue. Honestly, I have no clue. Well, you're in luck, as you've happened to run into the person who knows all the best stuff to do around here, and has limited time to show you around. Why, are you unemployed? My boss is pretty forgiving. Okay, not unemployed, technically. Oh wait, you probably wouldn't get that joke since we don't know each other that well. I'm self-employed, so I'm my own boss, so I'm forgiving myself. Get it? I'll laugh. I think that's good. Funny joke. Thank you. I'll be here all week. Before Stella can finish, Avery returns, biscuit in tow. Here's your biscuit. When he says it's on the house, she sends her condolences. Thanks, it looks great. Or you didn't have to do that. What, do I look like a charity case or shout out? We'll give the polite obligatory. You didn't have to do that. You didn't have to do that. It looks great. No worries, hope you enjoy it. You pick up the biscuit, it's delicate and fluffy. It nearly crumbles at your touch. Buttery warmth emanates from its surface. You take a bite. It melts in your mouth as if it was nothing but butter suspended in a thin matrix of dough. Truly, this is a perfect biscuit. Whoa. Lie, I say, I've had better, or this is the best biscuit I've had, but that's not saying much. Just give a whoa. Wow. This is really a really good biscuit. Wow. I'm so glad you like it. Avery lingers at the table for a moment. So, has Stella mentioned she's famous? Oh, Avery, I'm not famous. Look, if you're not going to go around tooting your own horn, you know I'm going to do it for you. Stella sighs. I'm a YouTuber. Oh, really? Wonder what that's like. Wait, what? What kind of videos do you do? Wow, that's rad. Oh, well, okay. How's that make you money? You and everyone else. Remain silent. In my personal experience, the follow-up here is always, what kind of videos do you do? Cool, what kind of videos do you do? She unscripted. You should really check out her channel, James. It's amazing. I think the best video to start with would be that river one. Not the lake, but, you know, the controversial one. Oh wait, did I do the wrong thing there? Yeah, that was an Avery line. Whoops. Oh yeah, the Catawba River Runner. Didn't expect much out of that footage at the time, but it wound up being my most popular video by far. So the River Runner is a cryptid that's only known from a single sighting. 2 Boy Scouts thought they saw something big and weird in the Catawba River, and that's all I had to go on. But then I wound up catching this on camera. Stella pulls out her phone and shows you a clip of something in a river. Despite the shaky camera footage, you can clearly make out the shape of the creature's head and its relative body proportions. You're pretty sure it's a cat, and a big one at that. Some folks said it was a beaver, but if that was the case, it'd be at least twice the size of any beaver I've seen. I've also had people saying it was a dog, or even a capybara, that must have escaped from a local wildlife sanctuary. I'm still not sure what it was, and I'm the one who saw the thing with my own 2 eyes. I could say it looks like a big cat. That's an honest-to-God cryptid there. Or, yeah, totally a dog. Or, wait, a beaver? Hold on. Whatever it is, you should leave it alone, or I don't believe in cryptids. I'll say it looks like a big cat. It looks like a big cat. See, it's got those little kitty cat ears right there. Maybe it's a mountain lion. No way. It's absolutely not a mountain lion. There are no mountain lions this far east. There's a whole video on the Appalachian mountain lion myth and found Jack squat. There's no reason one would be swimming in the river like this. They're not fans of water. And the body's too long. No way. Personally, I'm a fan of the capybara theory. Sure, it's not like any local sanctuaries are missing one, but there's always people keeping exotic animals as pets. Kind of a sewer gator type situation. Exactly. Some exotic pet owner set it free, and now it will forever roam the Catawba, confusing Boy Scouts and YouTube commentators for years to come. So speaking of things to do around town, I was actually planning on filming this week's video tonight. I was wondering if maybe you'd want to come along. It's a pretty easy one this week. We wouldn't even have to camp anywhere. I'm going to go after the... Wait, no spoilers. Oops, sorry, Avery. It's okay. I should probably get back to it instead of standing around chatting with friends. See you all around. Now this coast is clear. I'm going after the skunk ape. Ew, stinky. What skunk ape? Heck yeah, isn't that just worse Bigfoot? Rain sound. I like this term. Isn't that just worse Bigfoot? It's definitely one of those lesser ape-type cryptids, and one of the smellier according to some sources. They say you should be able to smell it before you see it. I don't know about you, but I find the idea of discovering something previously unknown to be an excitement enough, even if it's just worse Bigfoot. Most skunk ape sightings are from Florida, but while I was doing research for last week's video, I came across a report where a lady from a town over claimed to have seen one on her deck playing tug-of-war with her dog. And as I leave no stone unturned, I decided it was worth investigating. So what do you say, want to tag along? Hold the camera for me while I narrate against the darkening sky, that sort of thing? That depends, will Gretchen be there? Absolutely. Against my better judgment, yes. Are you nuts? It's not like I have anything else going on. No, will remain silent. I like this one. Against my better judgment. Yes. I will follow a girl I just met into the woods at night to chase after dangerous beasts. Sounds fun. When you put it that way, it sure does sound like this is a bad idea, but trust me, we'll have a great time. It's been a while since I've had anyone besides Gretchen out there with me. This is going to be a lot of fun. I actually started the channel with a couple of buddies of mine back in middle school, so it's kind of like a blast from the past. Me and Kanika and Reese running around in the woods, flipping over rocks and bothering salamanders. Our videos were terrible, but we had a lot of fun, and that's all that mattered to us. You know, that gets me thinking. I wonder if they'd be down to come along with us. Get the old gang back together. Though I guess Kanika has to close out the general store tonight, so I'm pretty sure she's a no-go. But Reese, I think there's a decent chance we could get him to come out of his hidey hole if he's up for it. Do you mind if I make a quick call? Stella pulls out her phone and dials it, waiting while it rings. Reese, dude, what's up? Feels like it's been forever. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. Do you want me to come by, or? Okay, if you're really sure, but if you change your mind... Oh, I was just calling to ask if you wanted to come out to the woods tonight. I met somebody cool in town today. He's Tabitha's cousin. I know, yeah, just here for the week. Anyway, we're going to look for skunk ape. We could take the easier trails if that would help. Dang, man, that sounds awful. Hope you take it easy tonight. I'll swing by sometimes this week, and we can have a more low-key hang. How's that? Yeah, I'll bring him. Talk to you soon. Bye, bud. Looks like it's just you and me, pal. Did he ask you to bring me to his house? Is he okay? Are you okay? What's his deal? Good. Did he ask you to bring me to his house? Why? He's excited to meet you, of course. I think you'll find most folks in town are. Is he okay? He's not feeling well, that's all. He's had a lot going on in the past, 10 years or so. But I feel like it's gotten a lot worse recently. Can't remember the last time I saw him leave his house. Oh well, it's not my place to talk about, really. I just got a little excited thinking about having him along again. He's hilarious, you love him. We should swing by his place sometime this week. That'd be nice, or we'll see. Haven't I met enough people already? We'll give it that'd be nice, especially since she's already basically signed me up for it. That'd be nice. I'd love to meet your friends. Awesome, I'll make it happen. He's definitely the trickier one to meet. Kanika is much easier to track down since she's at the general store basically every day. But friendship can wait. We've got a skunk ape to hunt. So, we should probably head out if we want to make it up the mountain before it's too dark. Go on, let's blow this popsicle stand. You pause before getting up. Maybe it's time to make a good first impression. Leave a tip? Leave a generous tip, or I can't afford to leave a tip. Don't leave a tip. You didn't even spend any money. Leaving a generous tip is generally a good thing, but if they gave me the thing on the house, that can kind of almost be interpreted as a backdoor way of just, like, refusing the offer of generosity, right? I forget who said this. I think it might come from, like, the book of, like, how to make friends or win friends and influence people or something. Maybe, don't quote me on that, but I know there's a concept in, like, psychology where, I think it's maybe called the Benjamin Franklin effect or something, where basically, if people do things for you, that makes them like you more than you doing things for them does, right? Because it plays on a concept of basically psychological dissonance, right? Where your brain wants to always be as kind of logically consistent as possible, right? It wants to line everything up into a framework that makes sense. So if I'm doing a nice thing for someone, if I'm doing someone a favor, my brain then wants to come up with a logical explanation for why that's the case, right? And so if I'm doing a nice thing for someone, my brain will do the heavy lifting and say, well, if I'm doing this guy a favor, it must be because I like him, because I wouldn't do a favor for someone that I don't like. And so then that can then make it a reality that you do actually start having a more positive opinion of someone that you do favors for, right? And so based on that sort of logic, right, a lot of times in a social interaction, someone will say like, oh, hey, they'll offer small favors to you, right? They'll say, hey, can I get you a drink? Or, hey, here's a cool thing I got at a gift shop once. Do you want it or something? Right? And these small sort of offers of kindness are actually good for you to accept because, the logical way of looking at it, at least at first glance, would be, do I want to accept this and kind of be in this person's debt or whatever, or inconvenience them, right? I don't want to inconvenience this person by making them have to help me with something, on the idea that, they'll be mad at me for that. But apparently the actual psychological phenomenon is you want to accept the offers of generosity, because by them doing something generous to you, it gets that psychological dissonance going, where they think, oh, well, if I did something nice for this person, it must be because I like them, therefore increasing their opinion of you. Anyways, all that is to say, if in this scenario we leave too generous of a tip, it can kind of be seen as shooting down that attempt at generosity, which we don't want, right? So, on the other hand, not leaving a tip at all is just... If you're a European, you may not get this, but... In America, you gotta leave a tip, okay? You gotta leave a tip. Granted, normally the tip is calculated based on the percentage of what you paid for your order. And if I got my order on the house, then... Say if I'm leaving a 20% tip, 20% of 0 is... 0. Still, though, I think I should leave at least a bit of a tip. Reach into your pockets and pull out a single crumpled dollar bill and a quarter. Yeah, I think that's a reasonable tip for a coffee and a biscuit. As long as you don't get sick of peanuts, butter, and jelly, your meals will be free while you're here. Share the wealth while you've got it, you think to yourself. You leave the money on the table and follow Stella out of the diner.